Dave is here, and welcome back to the shop. We're, of course, at the Owner's Pride Detail Shop in Omaha, Nebraska. And with me again is Brandon Walters, Walt's Car Care Mobile Tech Detail Person of the Year, which is fantastic. And so one of the cool things about this series is we try to talk about our products and, just kind of experiences within the context of running a detail shop, not necessarily just all the facts and figures. But, of course, we use Owner's Pride products exclusively here, right? We're the Owner's Pride shop, and so we use it for coatings, for washes, PPF, everything else in between. So kind of curious, because I don't know if we've ever talked about it a ton. Brandon, you are one of our select installers, but why did you actually choose Owner's Pride products?
Probably because a few years back, I went to the Mobile Tech Expo. And it was new to me, I didn't know one person there, never spoke to anybody, and I kind of just walked around and got a vibe. And I remember it was you and Damon just basically pulled me in, just had a general conversation.
I think what I it was funny because I think I flagged you down, and because you were looking at the booth.
You look lost.
I was like, you look a little lost, and then Damon kind of came over. He was first time coming to one of these shows, and you're like, yeah, he goes, it's a lot, huh? And
yeah, and that's the thing. It wasn't like a pump your chest type deal, like, oh, we are this. It was just, I think you just talked about business and I wasn't even sure who the owner was at that time and realized it was Damon and you. And I'm like, oh boy. I was like, well.
I'm one of the owners of the shop, but yeah, Damon owner on the chemical line. Yeah.
But no, they're just real people. And so I said, I'm not looking for someone to, gloat about their business. Is more just a general connection of how businesses work and, what you have to offer to me. And they just kind of fit the narrative. And so I took a swing on them. And my business in 4 years has grown pretty well.
Yeah, which has been exciting. It's fun because you and I talk regularly. I know you talk with Damon quite a bit as well. And so it's honestly fun to be a part of it, but it's definitely all you. Seeing you go from, I think you've been in for sure 2 shops, I think now that you've upgraded to.
Yeah, I'd say 2.
2, yeah.
We're working on 1 now, but it's really an eye opener. You get a connection with a company and then they really want to see you go, get big, and that's grow your business. And that's really why we chose Owner's Pride, is because they want to see you succeed, and without you succeeding, they won't. And they'll call you every few weeks, talk, just discuss life, and it's not even strictly business. Oh, we need you to sell this, you need to do this. It's just they'll just talk, say, hey, what's up?
Yeah. How you been? Yeah, half the time, it's just oh man, I haven't talked to Brandon in a while. How's he doing? Yeah. Is he good? I see you on Facebook and stuff, and out there killing it. So you offer a ton of our coatings, and probably in a market that isn't necessarily. It's not a huge, densely populated urban area, anything like that.
No, and it's really kind of, you're right. The area I'm in isn't very popular for high luxury vehicles or detailing per se, and it's usually kind of side gig type deal, and we made it into a full scale operation. And I think I've gained the trust over customers over the last few years, the same trust I gained from you and Damon, Dan. But it's more of just trust for my customers that, you need to protect your vehicle. I care for your vehicle.
Yeah.
And I do care of the health of it. And, it turns back to just ceramic coatings are protection for your vehicle. And
yeah. We're in Nebraska. I'd say 50% of what I see is, trucks. And we're not, Omaha's got a decent population, but the surrounding area, it's a lot of just hardworking people that want to protect their stuff.
Yeah, and with the cost of vehicles now, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
It's similar to what I offer in my shop, kind of, salt protection. You got to protect your investment nowadays, and, ceramic coatings are kind of the premier protection and affordable protection. You don't have to blow $6,000 to protect your vehicle, so.
I hope not. Some dealerships definitely will charge that, which
is
insane.
I've had a few that have sent me, and I'm I can offer you, 10 years for half the price. And it's wild, but it's, I'm glad with OP, they offer different years, so I can offer it to, them cars where you're going to keep for 3 years, or your baby you're going to keep for 10. So it's a real it's kind of a luxury to have. You can offer different protection packages to each customer.
And I think you and I had the conversation one time too, like here at our shop, we don't offer every single one of our coatings. I don't offer my 3-year, the OP3. It's not that I don't think it's a bad product, but in our market, it just didn't fit.
And we've talked about it too. Like I've talked about taking out a couple coatings, not because they don't perform. It's just the fact I have customers call and they're like, "What coatings do you have?" And I'm like, I will give them a sigh of relief. I'm like, "Well, I have too many." Yeah. And it's like it's not a bad thing. It's just great because they can offer different coatings to different places of detailing. And in upstate New York, you're not going to have everyone come in with a King Ranch or a BMW and want a 9-year coating. So we get Honda Civics that have 100,000 on them, but they still want to protect them.
Oh yeah. And I mean, and that's really what we're out here trying to do. So what about, because there's a ton of coatings on the market, what about the coating itself? Do you really like?
Well, it's easy to put on, and I shouldn't be saying that with my customers probably watching, but it really is an easy coating to apply. It's a professional coating. Yeah. And by that I mean, you come back the next day, and if you have a high spot, it's not just a wipe off, and they last. And, they're backed with warranties, and that's the main thing in New York. Like if you hear warranties now, it's like, oh well, what are the voids in that warranty? Well, there's no void. Yeah.
No, it's pretty clear cut on their postcard, like whatever's on there. And like I think there's even like a carve out for like, civil unrest isn't covered, but like that's how legitimate it is.
If you read the card, it's kind of funny because I'll have customers give them the card and a lot of them won't look over the card. They're just, oh, it's warranted. Well, and I'll try and explain what it means, what's covered, what's this. And they'll say, well, am I allowed to go through a car wash? I said, yes, I don't recommend it, but you can.
It's going to scratch it up.
Well, is it still warranted? I said, yes.
Not the scratches for the record, but the scratches. But I deal with that, yeah.
But the coating, and I said, and they said, oh, well, I got a coating, 5 years ago, and if I went through or I didn't show up once a month, it was voided. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't even have to come to me. I recommend you do. Yeah. But it's just for the health of the coating. Yeah. But a coating will go as far as you take care of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think... especially on the performance end of it. I know we were talking a bit the last couple of days, and like we do here, try to educate your customer on best care and maintenance. Of course, sometimes it's not always going to work out that way, and that's fine. But giving people those right tools, and like you said, and it's funny because we've gotten in trouble for it before because guys are like, it's too easy, and it's like, no, it's efficient. It's
like that's the thing. I don't know how long it takes other people, but I've spent anywhere from 2 to 3 hours coating a vehicle. And I think the longest coating you have is 9 year, and it's because it's dual layered and you got to wait.
Yeah, that one's tricky. If you haven't used our Select coating, if you're not a Select guy and you want to be, definitely hit us up. But the Select coating, that one's definitely different.
It's tough, but the gloss of it is unmatched. And until you're installing it and realizing, you're like, wow, this thing does pop. And it doesn't take away from the other coatings. It's just that's a premier coating.
I've got a guy here that he he detailed before coming to us a bit, and he had done some different products, but he's been with me now for almost 4 or 5 years, and so he's so used to the OP lineup that when we came out with the 9-year, he's like, okay, this is like a tough one to install, but I love the results. I'm like, well, first off, you're spoiled by all the others because they do go down,
I think
very
we had
easily.
This. You're like, you've been spoiled too long. And I said, oh, this one's kind of tricky.
I think you said you were like, I don't want to sell this. I go, you're lying. He goes, no, because it looks great. I want to sell it. But he's like, this is
double
different.
the time. And you're like, you've been spoiled too long.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I've seen it on OPX. I sold it to one of my customers because she had a black Honda Pilot and it was brand new. And I said, well, bring it to me. And I love that my customers leave it up to me because I'm not going to, you need a 9-year. Well, what? I always ask them, how long are you going to keep it? Simple stuff. Yeah. I'm not going to get an extra money because I want the extra money. I really do care about what's being put on and how you're going to take care of it. Well, she had a black Honda Pilot. She hated the scratches. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I said, let's try OPX on it. And I'm telling you, after 2 months she came in and the pillars, which are usually hammered first, were perfect. And I said, have you washed this? She goes, oh, yeah, I wash it all the time.
Yeah.
She goes, it's been filthy for the last month. And I said, that's when I kind of knew the new
the self-healing
lineup was, I thought it was just kind of another gimme, but it was like, no, there is self-healing properties in it.
Oh, yeah, and it's great. And, setting up the expectations with people is, of course, important on it because, I'll get that person that's like, so I can just run this through the brush car wash every single day and it's going to be flawless. And it's like, eventually it's, going to have issues.
Right. If you have to, I mean, I get it, but I think I'd rather you not wash your vehicle.
Yeah, because it's like, the self-healing, it's great. It does work. But like, if you're doing it on that scale, it's kind of, it's like, okay, well, everything's got a limit at a certain point. Right. But no, I mean, I think the newer coatings that we've came out with definitely seem like they've been a huge hit. I know you've gotten a ton of like the OPXs and stuff in your area, which is a great package to offer. Overall, I know you do use a ton of our products throughout your shop. Is it mostly on like your care and maintenance stuff, your prep work? What are you using it on?
Kind of everything. I mean, I use it from start to finish on the car, from the glass cleaner, tire shine, to the spotless water spot remover. I mean, you know how many gallons I get of that. So it's pretty much everything in here. I mean, and it's to the point where I'm trying stuff to try and, compare it to others to finally say to Davis, like, I found something that I'm not going to be buying from Owner's Pride, and I'm kind of still searching for it. But it's funny because
you told me one time, you're like, I bought something. He's like, don't hate me. I bought something to check it out because I think it might be like close. And then you called me like a week later. And you're like, nah, just put in another order.
And it's just like, DashGuard Plus. I was using local distributor back home and for a shine protectant. And I forgot when I was down at the Mobile Tech doing the tint PPF or the PPF training down the Orlando shop. And they said, here's a trick. You can apply it and clean it. And I'm like, what do you mean? And that's when I bought a 5-gallon pail. I said, well, we're going to find out quick. And I was like, God damn it, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Outside of it, it's been really fun just, getting to know you, getting to know your business. We try to do that with as many of our guys that want to get super involved and kind of find a place to stay. I mean, if you buy one product from me or 100 products from me, that's great. Yeah. But,
And that's a great thing, too. Like, I seen it this year. I mean, when we went to dinner one night at Mobile Tech, you saw a previous installer, and I asked, is he with you anymore? And he goes, no. And I thought to myself, well, in America, you shouldn't talk to that person anymore. Yeah. And you're like, no, he's still cool. We still talk.
We still talk.
He's with another company. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, and it's so true. Like, stop being petty and just, it helps your business, too. So it's like, no, but Owner's Pride is, I mean, I've been with them 4 years. I haven't really looked anywhere else anyways. I mean, they're just generally for your business. And like I said, they'll call, once, twice a month just to check up. Or I'll get a text or something about this, or this coating's in stock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I know your favorite products for sure. And so there's definitely been some times it'll be like, hey, we're doing a sale on something. Yeah. And you're like, all right, I hate you.
And it's the dumb stuff, too, like the pads. And I'm like, I think it was Taylor. Someone was like, oh, try the blue pad. I was like, I got some pads I use. And then I started using the white and maroon. And I'm thinking to myself, these guys have got to have a barrier at some point where it's not going to work. I was like, and they don't even, you don't even really like market them too much as in like, oh, you got to use our pad. You're just like, no, we offer them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've got our system that we use here. It works well for our shop. We love it. If anybody ever wants to know kind of what our cut and polish, or what our different service offerings are, anything in between, like we are always super open to kind of having those conversations. But yeah, I mean, at the same time,
like your compound, you gave me a trial run at one, and I remember you handed me it. And of course, I've had all the other top brands, and you're like, oh, let me know what you honestly think.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really even lie about it. I was like, damn, it's pretty good. It's like, it's like you polish with it, you cut with it. And I don't even use anything else. There's no dust. I mean, it's easy to wipe off. It'll paint correct anything. And I'm like, it makes it easier in the shop to, stock inventory. But,
well, especially as you're getting different employees and stuff like that coming in.
They even know, he even knows it by heart. He's like, eco wash this, right? And I'm like, and we use Ultra Wash for the thicker stuff. And he's like, and I always find him using Eco Wash, and he's like, I like the scent of it, and it works really good. Yeah. And I'm like, it's more expensive, but I get your point.
I can always tell like what stuff my guys like in the shop the most. Like, and half the time I think it's just because they like the way that it smells, because they just go through certain things a little bit faster, and you're like, all right.
That's my employee. He's like, I like Eco Wash, and like I said, my cousin will come in all the time. He's like, damn, it smells good. And he's like, is that same stuff you give me? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I love that stuff. And I was like, I know. I was like, there's not too much to hate about it. I was like, I'm still trying to find something.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Seriously, man, it's been great having you here.
Yep.
Looking forward to going up and visiting your shop someday soon, hopefully. But no, if you guys are interested in becoming an installer, we do have a link down below. Of course, a lot of our products are available to anybody watching this. So even if you don't want to necessarily jump on board, get into our coating line right away, but you want to check out some of our products, you can do that at ownerspride.com. But yeah, we'd love to hear about you, hear about your business, and just really see what we can do to help.
Yeah, and I recommend to everyone, like even a guy up towards me, he used Eco Wash a couple times, and he even asked me, he's like, you got any in stock? I said, just go online. Like, it'll last you a while.
Yeah.
And you can use on anything. He's a mobile guy. And I said, you can use on, and you got to be kind of careful what you carry. You don't want to carry too much with mobile. And I said, you can use it in the broad sunlight. It's not like, it's pH neutral.
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
It's not going to spot up and go nuts on you. It's awesome. And I said, rinseless anything. But, and I tell him, and I told a few other detailers, like, just grab their sample pack that you guys have of just the Owner's Pride. I think it's like the detail bundle or something.
Yeah, the detail kit. I know we've got some new ones that should be popping up on the site too soon.
Right, and I said, just try it. Like, you'll find some stuff that you might find work better for you. I was like, but honestly, I think you're going to be very impressed with their interior cleaner, their glass and tire cleaner. Yeah. It's like, they don't miss much. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, thanks. No, we appreciate it. It's been really fun, watching certain ends of the development process through everything, seeing where Damon took it from. For us, a lot of this is, what we use here, because if it's going to work for me, hopefully it's going to work for you too.
And that's a big part why I'm still with our OP2 is that Damon's growing his business too. And he's kind of the same vision, like, oh, we got to keep up with the times. Like we talked, you guys are coming out with your own tint.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's still in the works, but it's like, why not stick with the company you've trusted for the last 4 years? And, and then we can kind of bounce ideas off each other, tips and tricks. And it's easy when you can communicate with the people who make your products.
No, that's awesome. Well, thanks again, Brandon. Thank you, everybody. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. And again, invite anybody who's interested in using our ceramic coatings or becoming an authorized installer to click the link down below and throw in an app, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Catch you in the next one.